are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome to Healthy Germantown. I'm Steve Wilensky, Human Resources Director for our city, and your host for this program. We usher in the new year as a fresh opportunity to embrace change, to commit to more healthy habits, one day at a time, and to begin a series of small steps to fulfilling our goals. New Year's resolutions, they come and go. So what can we do to set meaningful, realistic, and sustainable goals that will last more than a few weeks? Judy Bookman will join us from the Concern Employee Assistance Program to offer some practical advice on this complicated subject. Do you have a new plan to start walking or running? Barry Roberson from Breakaway Running will explain the benefits of a professional running or walking shoe fitting. And finally, our Germantown Mayor Mike Palazzolo will tell us about the Germantown Half Marathon and Mayor's Cup 5K happening in March, and the Couch to 5K training program we can use to get ready for the big day. With us today is Judy Bookman, the Assistant Director for Concern EAP, a division of Baptist Memorial Healthcare Corporation, where she works as a corporate trainer and workplace consultant. Hi, Judy.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
Great. Tell us about New Year's resolutions.
Okay. What would you like to know? Would you like to know how people come to make them?
How do they come to make them with health in mind? Physical activity, healthy eating, and tobacco cessation for starters.
Okay. First of all, you're correct in zeroing in on healthy living, because most resolutions that people make at the new year are about doing things that will make them more healthy. I think that at the time of the new year, when people are looking for a fresh start, it's a great time to make goals, because that's really what resolutions are. It's about goal setting for yourself. So I think that when they come to realize that the new year is coming, it's a great time to review how you're feeling now and where you want to be a year from now.
But they don't always last. So do you have some advice for us on how to make this resolution become a lasting part of our lives?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. They don't always last. If you've ever had the experience of belonging to a gym and you're there on January 2nd, you know that it's really tough to be able to find your machines or the place that you like to work out in the gym. But by the third week in January, you usually can get back onto your treadmill or wherever you like to be. Unfortunately, most efforts towards healthy living don't sustain themselves for a variety of reasons. One of those reasons is that people may have the long-term goal they want. They may want to be able to lift 50 pounds, but they don't have the plan to get to that goal. Frequently, the most frequent plan that we see or resolution that people make is about losing weight. And so somebody might say, well, I want to lose 20 pounds. That by itself doesn't sound like such a bad idea, but you say, well, by when would you like to have that completed? And they might say by January 31st. My question is, which limb are you going to cut off? The problem with that is also the fact that it's an unrealistic goal and that they don't necessarily have a plan to get there. In other words, what are you going to do? So when we talk to the workout people who haven't worked out before, they'll tell you they're going to work out 7 days a week, an hour a day. Well, by day 2, they're hurting and they're sore. So they go, well, maybe I can't do this. So they defeat their own purpose and their own sense of motivation by making it too hard on themselves. One of the things that I suggest to people is start out slow and take little steps. So for example, with working out, I'd say your goal, your first short-term goal should be work out 2 days a week, 30 minutes at a time. And do that for a few weeks until you get reasonably comfortable, and then add a third day or add another 15 minutes. That way people are more likely to feel successful when they set short-term goals and when they meet them.
So we hear the word habit used a lot and tied to these kinds of goals. So how long would you say it would take with this New Year's resolution or any resolution at any time of the year to become a meaningful habit?
That's a really good question. Most people will tell you that a habit has to be systematically attained through about 6 weeks of practice. And that's really what new behaviors take, is practice. Because when you first start, you're going to be uncomfortable. For example, if you're right-handed and I say, well, for the next week, Steve, I want you to eat only with your left hand, it wouldn't be very comfortable, would it? But at the second week, it would be a little bit more comfortable. So that's sort of how our habits are. But the other thing I always remind people is, if it's a habit, for example, about stopping doing something, like stopping eating a lot of high-fat foods, set the goal so, again, you're not just sitting there while all your friends order French fries. So you've already made a plan to either bring a snack with you or do something else. With smoking, if you've decided not to smoke, you don't need to just sit there and not smoke. You need to get up and do something else. So I think what I call replacement for the habit that you're trying to break is another tactic to use or strategy to use so that you can sustain whatever that resolution is. And there are people that are successful.
What about the impact of making multiple resolutions at the same time and finding success with at least one?
One of the things that I always suggest is that you only have one goal, one resolution. Not that most of us need to have several, but that you work on one thing at a time. Because if you spread yourself too thinly, you're probably going to not attain any of those goals. And what we want is success, because what happens when we're successful is we feel good about it, and so we want to do more things that encourage that successful outcome.
And then another question is, we make these resolutions at the start of the year, and we make progress. And then something happens and we slip, and even it goes away. There's not necessarily a magic to this New Year's resolution happening only at New Year's, right?
That's absolutely true. One of the things I remind people is each day is a new beginning. And we say one day at a time, but the reality is if I make a mistake and I'm on a food plan at lunchtime and I go, uh-oh, I blew the whole day, I really didn't, because the next opportunity is at dinner. I think you have to develop safety plans for what happens if I backslide, because some people will make a resolution in January and by the end of the month, they're done with it and they go, well, I guess I'll have to wait until the next year. Obviously, a great time to set a goal for yourself, for your own behavior and your own improvement, is any time.
And last, what about the importance of a buddy? That you're not alone in the goal that you set for yourself and sharing it with others?
I think a buddy can be really helpful to a lot of people, but I think you have to be really careful about who your buddy is. Your buddy can't be somebody who's going to nag you. It needs to be somebody who's going to encourage you, who you might partner with on a similar goal, somebody who's going to be able to be motivational to you and not to bring you down, and not to be too competitive with. Because I think sometimes if it becomes too much of a competition, we see ourselves as a loser. And what we want with resolutions is for everybody to be a winner.
So it's an exciting time of the year.
Yes, it is.
It's been great to have you with us. And hopefully you'll be able to come back in the future and talk about other matters related to our well-being.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll visit Breakaway Running in Germantown. Please stay with us.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back. We recently visited Breakaway Running and learned the importance of a proper fitting for your running or walking shoe. Comfort, cushion, and support are just a few of the factors you should consider. Let's take a look. Hey.
Hi, what brings you in today?
I am here to get a new pair of shoes. I'm going to run in the Mayor's Cup 5K in March, and the first step is the Couch to 5K, which means I've got a lot of getting ready to do between now and then. Can you help me get a good pair of shoes?
Yeah, let's go back and get going.
Okay, thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your walking or running.
So I'm trying to get ready for the Mayor's Cup 5K in March, and the first step toward that is the Couch to 5K, which means I have to get in shape for March, and for that I need a new pair of shoes.
Great, because shoes are where everything starts. The only thing where the rubber meets the road is right. Every step you take is a line from your feet up. So what we kind of do, if you notice all these different shoes up here, it kind of looks like a big hodgepodge of shoes, but we have them by support type. And what we find out is what you need. Okay. Every shoe is different. Just because your neighbor or your friend that runs a marathon wears brand X doesn't mean that that brand X is going to fit you right. We need to find what works for you and the type of support that fits for you. Then we're going to try a few different things. We're going to watch you walk them in here. We're going to go outside and watch you walk, or run a little if you plan to run, and let you see how they feel, because that fit and feel is the most important thing.
Okay. So what's the first step?
First step is, why don't you have a seat and take off your shoes.
Okay.
And I'm just looking at the wear pattern on your shoes. Now you might notice you wear a little bit to the outside.
Yes.
So you're going to be what we call neutral. Now we're going to watch you walk anyway to make sure there's nothing else going on. Just tell me one thing, have you had any problems or injuries in your walking?
No.
Okay, well good, that's really good. So now if you would just kind of put your feet together like this.
Okay.
Okay, great. Now you've got kind of a really solid medium to slightly higher arch. Okay, great. And one of the things we want to do is we're going to measure your foot.
Okay.
Kind of check and see what size you wear, and keep in mind, you're not going to wear the size you measure.
All right.
You're probably going to wear a half to a full size, maybe even more than that, bigger than what we measure. So let's go ahead and put your right foot on there. If you would, please stand up for me.
And maybe my right foot will be different than my left?
Yeah, most people have a difference. A half size is not uncommon. Seen as much as a size and a half to two sizes different. Okay, now you measure about a 9.5 on that foot. Let's try the left. Okay, and you're a little closer than most people to being the same. Great, okay. And what you're looking for, number one, is comfort. Pure and simple, nothing rubbing, slipping, but you want a good snug fit back here in the heel. This part called the heel counter needs to fit tight. You don't want any movement up and down, of course, but one of the things you don't want is it feel loose and side to side. You want enough room up here in the toes that you don't feel the end, of course, but you don't want to feel the top of this seam here either. All these shoes have a seam on top. Then when you walk or run, your heel strikes, your foot rolls, and you toe off, and everything moves forward. If you can feel this when you go forward, that's not good either. These materials are soft. It's not going to bother you today, but in those 1,600 or 1,700 steps you take every mile, it could be a problem.
What would you tell somebody who hasn't exercised in a long time, and they decided, since it's the beginning of a new year, and because they're catching on to our Healthy Germantown initiative, we're going to do something about my health this year? What would you tell them?
First thing I would tell them is go to your physician and get cleared to start exercising. You need to get a checkup and make sure that everything's okay. Sometimes people find that they have latent issues they didn't know about, and you sure don't want to find out about it out by yourself, passed out on the side of a road. The next thing you need to do if you're going to start walking or running is out of all the things you need, shoes are the number one thing. The right shoes, good shoes. Just because they cost a lot, just because they're a pretty color, none of those things matter. It's fit and feel and having the right support type. You know, socks are important. And then just wear loose-fitting clothing and wicking clothing. You know, we come from the land of cotton. Some of us, older people, ran in cotton for 35 years, but we found out that some of the synthetics actually wick moisture better and work better in our warm climate. So you need to get a good wicking material to wear on everything that's next to your skin.
How do you preserve your shoes?
Well, running shoes are made to get wet and dry. The best way to dry them is just take some newspaper and stuff it inside there if you want to try to dry it faster. Heat is not good for these shoes. They're not stitched together like in the old days. These shoes are basically glued together. Heat is not good for glue. You're going to make them deteriorate quicker throwing them in the dryer.
And these are good for 600 miles.
Well, most shoes are going to last around 300 miles for most people, give or take. Everybody's a little different. It's very, very common. Most people are going to wear a little on the outer edge of the heel and somewhere up front here. And really where you're up front is what determines the type of support you need.
So how do we begin to find out if these are right for me?
Well, let's take a walk.
Okay.
Got a few other things to try. Now this is a Saucony shoe. It's a little bit different feel than the Brooks shoe you just tried. All the companies feel a little bit different. There are just minor differences between these shoes, and basically what you're looking for is just which one feels better overall. All of them are going to work and do what you want to do. Theoretically, just which one feels better.
For most people, one pair is enough.
For most people, yeah, one pair is enough.
If you're not a runner.
Technically, if you're looking to maximize the wear, the longevity of your shoes, two pairs is better. If you alternate them, they last longer. In all of these shoes, these midsoles have tiny cells in them. And as you walk or run, they compress. And it takes them more than 24 hours to sort of draw air back in and reform. So if you alternate them, your shoes stay a little fresher, a little more cushioning, and last longer. You know, what we do now, if you feel like those are the ones that you prefer out of everything you've tried, you know, we've only worn them for a few minutes here in the store. What we recommend, take them home, don't do your shorter walk, don't do your longest in them the first time or two. See how they feel. If you think there's no problems, continue. And what we do here is we'll give you a month wear test. If you think they're not working out the way you want them to, come back. We'll exchange them for something else. We want them to work for you. That's the most important thing. You're not going to keep walking if your shoes hurt.
Okay. We appreciate Breakaway Running's leadership in organized running events and their interest in supporting Healthy Germantown by encouraging citizens of all ages to become more active on a regular basis. Back after this quick break.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Healthy Germantown. The Mayor's Cup Half Marathon and 5K benefiting Special Olympics is March 12th. Last year, we had 1,230 registered participants. Now, nothing beats a fun workout or even a brisk walk with friends and family, especially when the course runs through the great neighborhoods of our city. That takes some preparation and self-discipline. Fortunately, we have just the plan to help you start now with that March 12th date in mind. It's called Couch to 5K, and our Germantown Mayor Mike Palazzolo is here to explain what it is, how it works, and hopefully to enlist some of us to join him in this worthy personal challenge. So welcome, Mayor.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So tell us first, what is it?
Well, Couch to 5K is something that a lot of people do all across the country. Last year, we embraced that concept, part of our Healthier Germantown initiative and part of our Wellness Council, try to get people active. And people especially, and I'll put myself in the same category, Steve, not all of us are great athletes that are ready to run a 5K from start to finish in a week. And so the Couch to 5K concept allows people of all abilities to literally start with very slow incremental progress, building up over time to where you can run a 5K. It's a 10-week program, and hopefully we will launch ours in the middle of January to coincide with our March 12th Germantown Half Marathon and the Mayor's Cup 5K.
Now, there are some people who will just walk the 5K and others who will work up through the Couch program to run it. But we welcome both, right?
Sure. Again, people of all abilities are great. I mean, I'm a case in point. Last year, I really started off my program a little bit too gung-ho and kind of went through some injuries. And so I started the 5K and I ran and then I walked, ran, walked. And part of the Couch to 5K concept over those 10 weeks, literally you'll start in the first week 3 times a week, about 20 to 30 minutes per workout session. And the first workout, you are running only for 1 minute. And then your walk, run for a minute, and there are intervals in there. Eventually, you'll work up to running for 8, 10 minutes straight, and at the very last week for 30 minutes without any break whatsoever, which would be about a 10-minute mile for a 5K, because a 5K is, you know, but a lot of people don't know, is 3.1 miles.
So people work up to this practicing on their own, and some do it with partners or teams?
Well, and what we hope to do is get the community really excited. We're going to have a Facebook page where that you can do the Couch to 5K with Mayor Mike. Hopefully we'll set up a schedule where we can run together as a community on Saturdays, perhaps meeting at, and we'll get this information out to the community on our Facebook page, our website, the Healthier Tennessee or Healthier Germantown Facebook page as well. But hopefully we can set up some Saturdays mornings where people in the community, from children to of all ages, will come and run and or walk with me. And you know, it's always great when you start off a new exercise regimen, especially as we're approaching the new year and we have all these great plans and ideas about losing weight, getting in shape. If you do it with someone, a group, an individual, a family member, or even like a class at our local schools, and those are great ways to get active and make it fun at the same time.
And there's an app to help you track your progress?
There is an app. It's called Couch to 5K, and it's C2, so it's the letter C, the number 2, the number 5K, and that's a free app. Anyone can put it on their smartphone or their Android, and you can join us in the program. And it keeps track of all 10 weeks for you, also keeps track of things like how many miles you've progressed. You know, you can incorporate it with your Fitbit. So many people use Fitbits now, I do as well. You can incorporate it with your Fitbit and you can keep track of your training regimen so that you get to that March 12th date and everything is fun and a success.
So what did you learn from last year that will carry over into your training this year so you and others won't suffer setbacks along the way?
Oh, some valuable lessons. So we're going to kick this off sometime in mid-January, January 15th. We're taping the show about a month from that point in time. I'm going to begin a stretching regimen and a stretching program. I think sometimes we get to certain stages of our life where you think you can literally just get up and move. And I'm 53. You need to stretch. You need to be prepared, loosen up. Also, I would strongly recommend anytime you begin a new training regimen, a new training program, that you consult your physician. Make sure that everything's working well in your body and that you don't do that without at least having a checkup so that you feel comfortable that you're going to be successful. And so I think I would stretch. Also, I'd change my diet a little bit. I was a little bit one of those people that, oh, now I'm running and walking, I can eat even more because I need to burn all these calories. I need to be more sensible. And more sensible means watching what you eat, controlling your portions, and I'll probably look for a diet to coincide with my Couch to 5K.
So while all this is going on, and we zero in on the March 12th date, the year goes many months beyond that. So how about after the Couch to 5K? We have so many outdoor activities now and so many ways that people can continue to walk, run, bike. Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Sure. Well, we have our Wellness Council, and it's a great segue. We've got something like 35 miles of greenway and bike paths. We've got all kinds of activities that have been I guess, approved under the label of our Germantown Wellness Council. If you see the little G that looks like a heart with the lime green background, you know it's sanctioned by the group. So those are all things that the community can get involved with throughout the year. All kinds of biking programs, recreation programs. If you haven't seen your FYI, which is out right now, there are things that you can do from each month of the year so that you'll stay in shape all year long, Steve.
So the Couch to 5K is the beginning.
Correct. Not the end, the beginning. And hopefully you, as our HR director, are going to inspire me to keep working out.
Absolutely. We're going to create a habit.
Good.
Well, I appreciate your being here with us, Mayor, and your leadership in this initiative for year number 2. And hopefully we'll have another nice day like we had last year. It was a cool, sunny day, and people, by the way, people from all ages will participate.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you know, you hear the 8 to 80. We literally have that in our community during that particular day. And the cause is great. It's for special needs, and so that's good. Plus, one day I hope to get up to the mayor's half marathon, but that's a little bit further down the road.
We'll have you back then.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here today, Mayor.
My pleasure.
If you'd like more information about the Mayor's Cup Half Marathon and 5K, please visit germantownhalfmarathon.racesonline.com. I'd like to thank Judy Bookman and Mayor Palazzolo for being here today, and thanks to Breakaway Running and Barry Roberson for allowing us to record in their Germantown store. If you'd like more information about this or any other show on Germantown Municipal Television, please visit www.gmtvonline.org. So until next month, stay healthy, Germantown.